Good morning. It's Coffee with Dakota again. And so this morning we've got a question from Lisle. If someone has asked, prayed, tried to listen and hear for years and years, yet at the age of 60 still does not know the path that is supposed to be hers or his, what then? How does one finally ever get it? That's a great question. And my first reaction is, or gut, is to say 60 is not very old, so you have plenty of time, plenty of time. And secondly, I think that when you allow yourself to be curious, that you stop swimming upstream and you start to look at the things around you that support what makes your soul feel more open, what feels more connected to your heart space. From those places, you are able to, or should be able to, determine what it is that your soul calling is, and also that your soul purpose, your sacred purpose, is embodied in those 4 different areas. So your spiritual, your environment, your job, your relationships. And when you look at the wholeness and how everything is connected and interwoven together, it's much easier to discover what it is that you're here to do. And you may be surprised. It may be something that you never even really considered, but the idea is that you become your sacred purpose. It's not something you do. It's not something that you put a label on, really. It's about your life. You know, when I was in my early 20s and I decided that it wasn't, I wasn't determining what job I wanted to have that would make me happy. I first determined what kind of life do I want? What is important to me? And it was the quality of life. And then I stepped it back from there and determined what is the path that gets me there, and that's the path that I took. Now it wasn't, I didn't have this big grand purpose or idea that my sacred purpose was to be a massage therapist. That's what I started out as. But that was the first step towards achieving that type of life that I wanted. I wanted that, I wanted freedom. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be connected to nature, and that allowed me to have time, or I could do massages outside. So that was my first stepping point. And from there, it just kept evolving and evolving and evolving. And every time I find myself at a crossroads or a fork in the path, I always choose the one that will lead me to the highest potential of adding to the quality of my life, not depleting from it. So is it going to build my relationships? Is it going to be a sacred environment that I enjoy being in? Is it going to strengthen my spiritual practices or my spiritual connection? Am I going to be serving the world in a way that is beneficial to both the world and to myself? And so those are the questions that I ask as I meet that quandary each time. And what I find is that a lot of times people will struggle with what their sacred purpose is because they are attempting to frame it out in a way of how can I make a lot of money? Because I want money so that I can travel. You see what I'm saying? It's like, let me work 40 hours a week here to get all the money I need so that I can go over here and enjoy my life. And that's where there's this huge separation happening where your life is not congruent anymore. It shouldn't be about the money, but when you are in the flow, when you are being curious and you're following those forks in the road where you just keep following the one that keeps leading you to the quality of life that you want or that you're desiring, the moment you step out of that and you start trying to do this so that you can have that, that's where there's this disconnect. Life is short. Life is very, very short. And I say that 60 is young, and it is. I will share a story with you about a friend of mine. When I did hospice work in Phoenix, this was a patient that I worked with for a number of months, and she was 67, and she worked her entire life as a nurse and saved every single penny that she earned, because when she retired, her goal was to travel the world, to see all the places that she had dreamt of seeing. She retired when she was 65. She had all the plans to go on this big world trip, had the money, and about a year into it, she got diagnosed with a terminal illness, and all that money then went to pay for her end days at a nursing home. When I met her, she was in the mid stages of the death process, and she only had months to go. And she always told me, you know, don't wait, don't wait. And that's what I would say to anybody watching this, is don't wait to live your life. You know, and sometimes you're going to make mistakes. You're going to go and you're going to go on this fork of the road, and you're going to find out halfway down the path that, you know, wow, this was not what I thought it was going to be. And then, you know what, the universe is going to present you another fork, and you can have another choice to go in a different direction. But to stand there and look at both ways forever, deciding which one, just don't wait. Seriously, there's nothing in this world that is well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think that there's too many people waiting, not enough people being and doing, taking action for their life. They're waiting for the perfect moment. They're waiting for the kids to grow up. They're waiting to have enough money. They're waiting for the job to end. They're waiting to retire. They're waiting to, you know, whatever. And in that waiting, you're actually dying. You're dying every day. You're dying. You're dying some. I'm one day closer to death today than I was yesterday. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets to actually take that step forward, because we condition ourselves to be in that fear, and we get comfortable in that place where we don't have to take that risk. You know, when I moved across the United States at the age of 20 with $300 to my name, and most of that was spent on gas to get to Arizona. I had no plan. I had no idea what I was doing. Everybody said I was crazy, and I was. Maybe I was, but I did it. I did it. I survived, and it was the best move I ever did in my entire life. I would never change a single thing about doing that, making that decision, taking that fork in the road. It wasn't easy, but I did it. And sometimes we take these forks in the road not knowing exactly why we're taking it. We just do it. And that is a powerful statement to the universe. It says, I am trusting you, and I am ready. And for me, it turned out to be a beautiful experience. And for you too, I think it will. So, you know, go into that heart space and really find, what is your next best step? It doesn't matter how old you are. What is your next best step? What will increase the quality of your life? What will allow you to be more authentic? What will allow you to show up? And then just do it. Just do it. Okay? All right. Thanks for the question, Lisle. Bye.